I mean,
We're
we're
preparing
going
to go
live.
live.
Ding
We're on
bong.
live right now. We're on.
No,
it's a link.
it's a little progress bar. We're going live in like less than 60 seconds.
All right, so
Okay.
send the link. Send the link.
Can
Put the
you
link in the
count us
chat.
down?
Yeah,
Can it
send
be
the link to the
official?
thing so we can put it
Send
on
the
the
link,
link, put it in
fam.
our
Yo,
chat.
fam,
The
put the
link
link.
is right here.
Okay.
You can copy
Here's,
it.
Oh
here's
yeah,
the
it's
link.
right there if you click on
Put it in
it.
the text. Don't put it in the chat. Put it in the text. Or no, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Copy streaming link. Scene.
I'm putting it in the text.
All right, guys, I gotta give my social media coordinator the link so that she can post it.
This guy got a virtual assistant in his house.
Are we live? Are we live right now?
We're live right now, fam.
Yeah, we are
I
live.
love how this guy's wife just handles his social media like that.
Yo,
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
not
saying
my
it.
social media.
Guys, we're live.
Good God.
We,
I don't know what
Shay,
this gonna
your
do. I don't know
social
what this
media,
gonna do
you
for
just
my.
don't handle. You don't run it. It's still yours.
It's like a fan page.
Of O'Shea, yeah.
Your wife is your fan?
Your wife is
My biggest fan.
Whoa.
okay.
I thought you were her big. Okay, never mind.
Yo, who we missing?
Jason.
Oh yeah.
Jason.
Jason.
Jason's
The
an
one
American, so
guy.
Jason's praying right now.
He's on his hands and feet. He's on his knees right
Yeah,
now.
he
You know?
What Jason didn't tell you guys is he actually went to a West Indian restaurant and got goat, and he's sacrificing her right now.
Wow. Oh,
So
boy.
upset.
I thought this guy was gonna say something like
So
reasonable.
do we have the word out that we're-
Intelligent?
I put
The
it out
word
there.
out
on
right
my
now?
things.
Yo, what? I don't know what's going in. Oh no, it's still me. Okay. Because for some reason it still shows the House of Common YouTube account, but it's whatever. We're live.
But we're
Who
live.
cares?
We're
But
live.
is it show,
We got people.
Is it,
we
so
got
is
people
the
in
House
the
of
mix.
Common?
Are we here? Who's there?
We're
Who's
here.
here? Who's there?
Zach Baker's in.
Hey,
man.
Seen the man. Brantford in the building.
let's go, Geert.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Brantford
let's
loves
go.
the house.
Speaking on behalf of all of it.
There's a little bit of a delay, but
Oh
Give us
yeah.
2 seconds.
There's 7 people waiting on the original channel. I don't know if we want to pop that in the chat there.
Yeah, put in the chat there. The new link.
I don't know how to do that, yo.
New link, new
Who can do that?
link.
I'm gonna
Or
just
has
do it from
access to the.
my personal account. Just so
Oh yeah, you can
know.
just do it as in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right
Yeah.
now. Yo.
All right, Stefan. So you're not showing us your picture, but what you got to say tonight, bruv? You got a lot on the line tonight.
Listen,
You're
tonight
gonna let the people know what's happening.
All right,
Tonight-
everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live edition of the House of Commons show.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a headache trying to get live. That's what happens when you have 10 guys trying to do all the same thing. But here we are, live on election night.
That was nice.
For some reason, 9 Canadian guys care so deeply about American politics that we are watching it together as if it's like Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But it really
Hey,
feels like
pretty
Game 7
much is.
of the NBA Finals because someone's going to win, someone's going to lose, and we're all going to hear about it for the next 4 years. So we want to welcome you, those of you who are watching on YouTube. What's going on? We are so glad that you're willing to watch this debacle of political growth and change with us. We're going to be online for an hour and change, hanging out together, watching projections, explaining why we have some of the views that we do. While you're here, though, I know that you're right now not on our official YouTube link right now. You're somewhere else. But do me a favor, when this is all said and done, forgive us for being late by going and subscribing to our official YouTube channel, The House of Commons Show. Also, make sure that you you like and subscribe to our Instagram handle, The House of Commons Show, and subscribe to our podcast because that's where we shine on audio. Because even though we are 9, normally 10 handsome guys, our voices are even better. Subscribe to that on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Get all that stuff and then share that with all of your friends. Gentlemen, Before we get started, we have to talk a little bit about how we got to where we are now. In 2008, a man by the name of Barack Hussein Obama was elected to be president of the United States of America. 2012, he repeated, and in the midst of that, there was a little bit of social unrest and upheaval that was beginning to bubble up among people in the United States of America. In 2016, there was a Senate race, 2014 rather, there was a Senate race, and in the Senate and in the House, it turned over from blue to red, and it became majority run by the Republican Party, making Barack Obama's last 2 years lame duck, meaning he could not get anything done because he was roadblocked. That led way to a race between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in 2016, which, by surprising everybody except for a few people, Donald Trump won, which has led us into right now. Over the last 4 years, we have been able to see as Canadians the effect of his presidency, which is leading to tonight, which has been deemed as the most important election in the history of America, even though they say that for every single election. So knowing that, we are now watching this in real time. There's some of us who are watching Fox News. God bless you. There's some of us watching MSNBC. Why? Some of us are watching CBC, which, like us, is Canadian and late. We're all watching different things. We're all finding it in different spaces.
Yo, let me watch Fox News, fam.
Trying to get as much of the information as possible while also being ridiculous and irreverent the entire time. One of our buddies, Jason, is not here. Jason, who launched his church, Forward Faith Church, this weekend. Shout out to the homie.
Hey, young and
he's not here with us on the show per se, but he's always with us in spirit and in the heart. I'm not saying like he's dead. He's just not here on the show with us.
It's a
And
doppy
also
thing.
important that you know that we have a lot riding on this election tonight. I'm speaking to you, the viewer.
Yes.
I'm on YouTube, so I don't know whether there's one of you, Zach. I don't know if I'm talking to you, Zach, or if there's more of you who are actually watching right now. But it's important.
Jerry Adramang is in the building.
Please stop interrupting me. It's important for you, the viewer, to understand why this is important to us. There was a man on our show. His name is Stefan Leroy Watson. You may know him. Stefan has made the proclamation because somehow he feels the Lord told him that Joe Biden is winning this election. There are others of us on this show who vehemently disagree with him because we're just not dumb. And so we have placed upon this election of no one good is going to win this thing, a stake bet. Stefan, can you speak to the people about what you have issued as your stake bet in this debacle that we are calling the House of Commons show tonight?
Well, as we prepare for the American Civil War, I think that
Off the top, yo, just straight off the dome.
I issued the decree months ago that Joe Biden was going to win. The decree, I use that word lightly, that Joe Biden was going to win. DECREE. Come on, get out of here, man. Come on.
Degree.
You just spelled Lecrae. You just spelled Lecrae, bro.
So I laid out a steak dinner, and some guys took me up on it. And so
every single one of us, bro.
Every last one of us, bro.
Every single.
Zach wants to know if you're purchasing the steak from Calvin.
Only one person in the group requested a steak from Calvin. Everybody else thought that they were going to be fancy, and we're sending menus out. Actually, no, I was sending menus out because you guys are buying me a steak. So I'm not even worried about anything tonight.
You don't even believe
You're
that.
gonna get a steak from
Jonathan
Subway,
Manifold
maybe.
in the house.
The $1,000 question, though,
And
Steph,
he's gonna be back.
is the $1,000 question, Steph, is does Jamie know about this?
Yeah.
You're gonna call me out. You're gonna call me out on live like that, fam. You're gonna do that?
So here's
You
the
called
thing.
yourself out when you didn't tell her.
Do
Here's
your
the thing,
wives
guys.
know that you're buying me steak?
It's important for us to have this conversation right now. Besides maybe one or two of us, none of us are really happy with, and again, we're Canadians. This has no actual effect on our lives outside of like the random person who's going to come up to us and say like Trump 2024, Trump 2028. because it's going to start a long-term Russian type regime. It has really no bearing on our lives. We are Canadian. We vote differently. We have parliament. We have minority or majority government. We have official opposition. This has no bearing on our lives. Yet somehow we are putting on a live show at 9:30 p.m. to watch this thing together. But the thrill of steak, and not only the thrill of steak, the thrill of free steak is so enticing that it's worth it. Listen, I think that my friend Stefan is wrong. I think that Donald Trump, whether I want him to or not, is going to win this election. And the idea of eating a steak because I was right, my pride says it's okay, even though it's really gonna be horrible. So Stefan,
Yes, sir.
your feeling is Joe Biden is going to take this thing. What outside of the Lord told you gives you sort of some
encouragement,
confidence in this?
I think when we look at the amount of people that have already pre-voted, those people, the turnout already is greater than the turnout in 2016. A couple of things. The Democrats actually ran a better candidate this time. Nobody trusted Hillary Clinton. There are Democrats who didn't trust Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden seems to be more trustworthy, whatever that might mean in the context. I mean, if you're right, but in terms of, hey, we have Hillary Clinton, who we didn't necessarily like her husband because of all the things that came attached with the Clinton presidency, and her role as Secretary of State, which wasn't really the greatest, and her pandering to different bases. People just didn't feel that was the right choice for president. And so I think that's one of the things that helped propel Donald Trump to his seat. Joe Biden, on the other hand, he is more trustworthy, and he just seems like a more respectable candidate.
Oh, you know
Democrats are trotting him. So
Joe Biden's gonna defeat Joe Biden tonight.
This is yet to be
It's
seen.
like-
Okay.
So if I may for a moment, I'm just watching in the chat, and people are wondering, for the steaks that aren't coming from Calvin, are we talking Ruth Chris or the Keg?
I'm down.
Shout out
for
to my man Tim Grant.
I
I'm
have
down
go for it, crew.
I'm down for either. I prefer Ruth. But I'll be more gracious towards you, Steph, and I'll accept a keg steak. I'm down for that.
I won't.
A low class keg steak.
Wow. I have gone to the trouble of finding a steak place in everybody's locale, and I want them to send that to me. So I want a variety of steaks.
Yo, tell me, what's Hamilton cooking right now? What do you want out of Hamilton?
I'm expecting you to bring me stuff from the shop now.
Oh, you want a delivery from the shop? All right.
That's what I want.
All I know is I want the visual representation of Stefan swiping his card and paying for my meal.
He wants the receipt
Instagram
of
live,
the receipt.
Instagram live. You want to be able to see it. You want to be able to see it happen. I want Jamie to be there over his shoulder, shaking her head like this the entire time while he taps. And not his debit card, his credit card. So like he feels like I owe this, and if I don't pay it back on time, I'm gonna have interest on it. I want it to be something like he's like he forgets and he's paying in perpetuity for the rest of his life, going like, oh yeah, that
no
5%,
points cards.
That's my stake. Yeah. No, nothing where like you get a trip out of it. Like something like literally like it hurts you. Like and there's like high interest on it.
Yo, and don't try and expense it either, eh?
Wow. I want my steak to be like, I don't want it to be from the Keg or Ruth. I want it to be from somewhere like local, like it's a specific restaurant. Like I've done the research on it. I've done looking and like, you know what? I want it from here at this temperature with all that stuff, all the trimmings on it. That's what I want.
Nah, man, I want the equivalent of whatever your meal costs in one cut of meat. That's gonna be an expensive steak, man.
And Adam wants a couple porterhouses.
I just want that big cowboy steak, man. That's what
And a New York steak right here.
Okay, so Stefan has given his declaration as to why he feels Biden will win. We see in the chat here, where is it? Where Jerry said like, nope, no Biden. Biden equals no trust. I think we can all agree. You trust nobody. Rules of the street. You trust no one. You trust your people. You trust your mans and them. Trust nobody else. I think that's the lesson here in the midst of this. But there's still sort of like you have to vote for somebody, and you're not trusting either of them. Now, I know among us, Stefan, I won't say Stefan is a fan of Joe Biden. Stefan just kind of feels Joe Biden is going to win. There are others of you who feel the opposite. Does somebody want to speak as to why they feel that Joe Biden is going to lose? The floor is yours for our 17 viewers who have given up their time. Oh, 19 now. 19.
Hey,
Turning it
all
up,
the way
boys.
up. I just really want to hear from Andrew Jones. Throwing it to Andrew Jones tonight.
Come on, Dad.
I just think, listen, I think Trump will win because there's a lot of conservatives out there and a lot of people. You made a good point about there's a record number of people that have come out. Just like in 2016, there's a lot of hidden red voters. And so you have a lot of people that haven't voiced anything because of the other side, blue, voicing theirs so loud. And so you're so wrong.
You put in what I was thinking.
Oh boy, they can't see it. But
they can't
say
see
it with
it.
your chest, Mark. Say it with your chest.
Listen.
I swear that's what he was gonna say though, and then he caught himself.
You
guys were jokers. Trump has a way of appealing to the people that he knows will bring the most amount of votes.
And who are those people, Andrew?
We will call.
Yeah, who are those people, Andrew?
Who are those people, Andrew? Who's people, Andrew?
You answer that.
No, I asked you.
You made the comment.
No, don't be like Trump in a debate and just
Can I jump in? Andrew, can I jump in for a second?
There
Can I
is
jump
a silent majority of certain type of people.
Oh boy, this guy
You're
like, that's
comments
worse.
off of YouTube right now.
Mindset that will
Okay, fair.
allow
Fine. He's not
Trump,
gonna bite. I'm off him. I'm off this.
that will allow Trump to win this election.
Bart was gonna say something.
I was gonna say that I think if you are looking at this from a conservative Republican point of view, it's a rightly so a large silent majority of people that are coming out. If you remove Trump's character and his personality out of the equation, you start to then see, immigration reform, tax reform, dropping out of the Paris Agreement, all those different things that he has deregulated, in terms of the economy, all that type of stuff. He's doing a lot of things that he said he was going to do. And so, yeah, some people are like, well, we're threatening all this progress that we're doing, so we need to advocate for him to come out. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm just saying, if I was somebody who was conservative, he's checking off a lot of boxes, you know what I mean? Like, about all these different aspects in the last 4 years of what he's done. When you think about the tax thing was a really big thing, the immigration thing was a really big deal, the EPA thing was a really big deal, the Paris Accord was a really big deal, the trade agreements all across the world with China and with NAFTA and all that type of stuff, really big deal. So there are a lot of points for that side. It's just a matter of whether you can see past the coronavirus, his personality, and his, divisive nature, where he has pushed or amplified the divisiveness. He's not the cause of the divisiveness. That's always been there. I think he amplifies it even more.
Trump's the symptom of the disease that has been long active within America. That is
yeah.
Go on.
And I would agree. My only catch to the immigration part, Bart, is who he has. Like, I can be here or there with Trump. Stephen Miller, who oversees a lot of the immigration stuff, and who has kind of led the charge on changing a lot of the rules on who can get in, who can get out. Who was also, you know, the one who was put in charge over ICE, who was poor children being like. There's a lot of. It's really like if you're picking this, you're picking all of it. You can't pick some of it.
It's true,
right?
And I think to the people who want America to be great again,
yeah,
they are looking at those Mexican and Latin American people. They're looking at those Muslims, and they're looking at those different races that are trying to come from Syria and are basically saying, actually, I'm down with that. If you say no Muslims, I'm not, Jerry, working on the low for Trump. I'm just saying there's two sides to every story, and I think some of the people who are voting for Trump might surprise us if we were to see who actually voted for who. I think people are like, word, you do agree with all this stuff? Some small towns have different types of values than big city, and we have to understand that we are city folk on this chat, on this group live stream right now. But there are a lot of people who live in rural America, middle America, who have small town values, and they don't like big government, and they like more of the way it used to be. And yeah.
So Bart, who are those people that want to make America great again? Who are those people?
the people that want to make America great again are the people who still look for. Who are they? Largely. No. I can answer this. It is largely people who are predominantly white and older, because the life that they lived does not exist anymore. If you were somebody who worked at General Electric or GM Motors for your whole life, you got a pension, you got your gold watch, you retired, you lived a good life, your wife didn't have to work, and you provided for your family, that ideal does not exist. Those jobs went to China. So then to that reality, it's like, okay, the newer generation, I see now, Jorge has my job. Somebody from Mexico or Latin America has my job, or Habib from Middle East has my job, or somebody from China has my job. And now I don't see the same things that I grew up with, and this world is changing too fast. And they're now looking to say, whoa. Maybe the framers, the founding fathers, were wrong to say, give us your tired, your poor, give us all these different things. Maybe it should be more something like, okay, prove to us that you're actually good enough to be in this country, because we don't have it in a limitless supply of resources to accept everybody. And I don't agree with that at all. I think there's lots of room for everybody, but I do see how somebody who's 60, 70, and 80 years old, that boomer generation, predominantly white, who helped build a lot of the boom in economic growth in the 60s and 70s, I can see how they're looking at this world today and saying this whole country is messed up, and it all because we don't mine coal and we gave our jobs to China and we let all these Mexicans in. So I would say the answer is older white people.
And that's how it's said. And I would, and the catch to that too, though, Bart, is at the same time, America's getting younger. They've said that there are 15 million people born since Trump was elected. 15 million people. And that's most crazy. Of those who are born who are younger, they often skew Democrat. That's naturally as it's going, because there's an age divide. And so this is one of those things where, like, Republicans are looking at this as like, if we don't win this, we may never win again because of the demographic shift that's happening naturally in the world. Like there's a natural worry of like, if we don't win this one, if we don't do everything in our power, so if we don't message and beg every Supreme Court in every battleground state to throw out various mail-in votes or late day election day votes, if we don't do that, then we're in trouble. And so there's a yes to that with a caveat. There's a yes to, like, we want America to be great because if we don't win it now, we're going to lose it forever, which isn't necessarily true. What it means is that, like, your party then just needs to kind of like retool how it messages itself to younger people.
I agree, and I disagree with you a little bit, because you also have that.
Disagree with me or disagree with Bart?
no, with what you said about yes, the demographics is getting younger, so you're getting a newer.
That's actually like factual. Like that's actual research.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is too, what's happening is, and we look at numbers, but anyways, but what I'm also saying is, you also have these Republicans and these different people who are now teaching the younger generation, their kids, and so they're passing down those things to other people, and they're passing these things down to their kids, and so that you see the kids. That's why you see the racism is still prevalent and things like that, because people pass down what their thoughts and their processes to their kids. So they're passing down their party loyalties to their kids as well. And when we look at the number, just looking at the numbers for alone, if you say that all Black people vote for Biden, that's only 12% of America. Mm-hmm. That's still not enough. 12% is still not enough to take over Trump. You still got to get a whole bunch of other people to jump in there and to vote against Trump. So that's another reason why I think Trump can take this all and still could win this, and we could still have it for a long time.
Oh, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Trump's winning. Like, he's winning because, like, I'm getting a steak. Like, that's just happening. Like, I mean, like, that's not. Somebody else. I've talked a lot. Somebody else.
Well, Niels wanted to know, Tim, if Biden wins, are you going to be raising a hallelujah?
Yeah.
No, Niels, I am not going to be raising it.
Glory.
It's one of those things that I'm in the pre-show while we were trying to get this up and running. We had talked about how Trump is the medication where if you finish taking it too early beyond what is prescribed, you run the risk of the infection returning. And it could very well be that Trump ends up losing, and then people step back into the dark recesses of culture and society where they themselves feel that it's all right. It's one of those things that when we look at it, Barack Obama was supposed to be the beginning of a new age. And the reality is that out of Obama, we had Trump. And it's not because of Obama, though you could probably make an argument of that. It's just one of those things that if Biden wins, who's not to say that we don't get someone that is more aggressive, that is more cunning than Trump 4 years from now? Because I'm sorry, but Biden isn't running for a second term. The man will be like
81.
Yeah, there we go.
He might not even survive the first term.
This is what I said, man.
Yeah,
the man, he's almost there. I'm gonna let you fill in the lines, but he's almost there.
Yeah, I just think
somebody else.
Yeah, I just think Trump has just set himself up. You know, if you think of the way that he gaslights, if you think of the way that he, the headlines, how he's so, I don't know, he's in a sense he's attacked mainstream media. Anything that's not in favor of him, he calls fake news and stuff, and I just think that he's more cunning than what he puts off. I don't think we should dismiss Donald Trump and the Republican Party as him not knowing what they're doing. He's more cunning than what he puts off, and I just think that he's set it up in a way. Again, I'll throw my hat in there. I think Trump is gonna win. I'll reserve my comments for who I support, for another time, I guess.
Yo, you already tipped that hat. Your guy is not on the ticket.
Who's that? Is that Ye?
It's
Is that Kanye? Bernie Man?
It's Bernie Man.
My guy is not on the
It's Bernier. Bernier.
Bernier.
Bernie.
Oh, man.
That socialist.
Someone else. Where are you seeing things?
Anybody that I know that's like under 30 is white is voting for Trump, of people that I know in the States. So that kind of like doesn't speak to the idea that it's just old white people that are upset. I find that interesting. Most of them being Christian also.
Yeah, I think to tie off like what Calvin said and kind of like what Andrew was talking about is you have those old white people that a lot of our thinking, our behaviors, our mannerisms are from what we learn, and context in where we are and where we're living is basically who you grow up to be in a large part. So like it's tough because like I see what Andrew and Calvin are saying, and like you can't dispute Calvin's statement there because that's factual information, like a textbook, research. That's personal
Research.
testimonies of people. But I think the other part that plays in is the younger generation, that 30 and under, regardless if they self-identify as a Democrat or Republican, our generation is known as this open-minded generation. So regardless of what they may self-identify, if the other party is saying what they like or what appeases to them, it doesn't matter necessarily what they've grown up in, because our generation is that generation that is asking questions that we're quote unquote not supposed to be asking, pushing borders, pushing lines that we're quote unquote not supposed to be pushing. So I think that's where it makes this election and even elections going forward a little bit more interesting, because that regular conception of Democrat and Republicans, I feel like is going to get shattered once those old white people and old people end up vacating the earth. And I think it's going to be really interesting then to kind of see. You see how I said that nicely?
That was not nice. That was disrespectful.
That was not nice at all.
Yeah, man.
It's
Take
like,
it back and fix it.
Let me say this.
No.
The thing that I would say gets us in trouble with that assumption, though, is you look at the rallies itself, and as much as it is a sea of white, there are cookies within that cream. No.
Tim, you win. You win, Tim.
We're watching the election. What are you talking about?
Peaches and cream 112 or cookies and cream?
Cookies and cream.
No. But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like so many times the fact of the black people that will vote for Trump is downplayed. It's like Biden himself made that mistake where he basically said, it's like, what do you have to say to black people that would vote for you? As my sister chimes in on the chat, it's like, you aren't black if you don't vote for me, which itself is one of those things that I would say, first of all, it takes us down to the lowest common denominator, which is a disservice to us. And that is just as a whole, whether you're American or Canadian, or you find yourself being from Africa in Nigeria. It's one of those things that you can't sleep on the black folks. Just because you're black doesn't mean that you will vote Democrat. Cookies within the cream.
So Tim, you bring up a good point, right? In terms of the black vote, and one of the things that has been talked about in various media sources has been the courting of specifically the black male vote. Most black women, just by way of early mail-in polls, have said that they have voted for Biden, but there's still this weird courting of the black male vote. What do you think goes to the House? What do you think is the thing that makes them say, I want to vote for Biden? And what is that thing that may make them say, I might not like Trump, but policy over personality? Why do you think there's that weird divide between the two?
I think
Don't
there's a
know
lot of
if
people that
I've
they respect his. I'm gonna let you go, Cal, in a second. I think a lot of black men respect that energy Trump has, though. Like, he says what he says, and it's kind of the same reason why we rock with Stefan. He's gonna say wild. He's gonna say wild braggadocious stuff.
Stefan, you just got compared to Trump.
he's happy
But
with it. He went,
that puts you in the same company as LeBron James, apparently.
So I'm just saying, I think it's more energy and like, I rock with this guy because he says what he says and he's gonna do what he wants the way he wants it. That's the reason why you saw 50 Cent kind of flip flop until his ex-girlfriend, offered him some whatever. And then you see same thing with like Kanye, which is a whole other thing. So I'm just saying,
Pump.
I think
Lil Pump, aka Lil Pimp.
Yeah, I don't even know who Lil Pump is. I'm 34 years old, so I don't know what that means. Is that a gas pump?
Stop lying. This guy's on TikTok all day. Stop lying.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
This guy sends like
Gucci gang,
5 TikToks a day. Get off.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
I'm done. Gucci gang. Peace out.
So let's talk about black men. Why would black men want to vote for Biden? Why would black men want to vote for Trump?
I don't know. I think for I don't know if it's just black men, but people in general, they'll play with the devil they know versus the devil they don't really know. They know what they got with Trump for the past 4 years. They don't necessarily know what they're going to get with Biden for the next 4 years. And so a lot of times, plus Trump has said certain things to try and say that he's helped the black community
Platinum plan.
with employment and
He hasn't done the platinum plan yet.
But he's trying to say that he's.
No, I'm saying that to Tim's comment. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he hasn't done it yet.
he's pandering to black people because that we got all those XL, double XL magazines,
Exactly.
and the Source
So
magazine, platinum like the records, come through like
so
the
he's saying
ribs.
all of that stuff, and if the black males are not doing the homework to really see the big picture of all the things that he's causing, they may get given to that, but I don't know. Other than that, I don't know why. Other than I agree with what Bart said already, there are black males that just like the way he operates, where he just whatever he says he's gonna say it. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. So,
yeah, I also think that there's a lot of if we're talking about the demographic of black males, I think there's a lot of there's definitely different kinds of people. In the sense that there are some with their eye on the economy and with work and with taxes and with all these kinds of things who are watching Trump from more so of a economical and business perspective, which he is appealing to, and then there's others who are watching from a cultural perspective, and so I think that's a lot of where that divide is that those who are really watching from that economical perspective, that business perspective, they're gonna say, yeah, this is good. Biden wants to introduce socialism. They've demonized socialism in the States, and then those who are watching, I guess, like the cultural moment that we're in right now, just think that Trump is the worst thing to happen to America. And that's kind of where I see the divide. You guys are horrible.
So, like, how many people do you think are as informed in their voting as we think they are beyond social media? So, like, beyond
Defined
the
informed.
hoopla.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, so, like, beyond what the outrage on Snapchat or Instagram or, as Bart likes to dwell on, TikTok. Like, outside of the hot takes, like, are most people who are voting actually informed as to what's happening in the economy, what's happening with foreign policy, what's happening with immigration, or is it just like get this guy out of here? Right?
Are we
like,
informed?
remember no, just in general, like, just, what do you think in general? Like, everybody's like, yo, let's get Bernie in, we'll get free education, and that was like amazing, and then no thought of what would that actually do to the economy, what would that actually do for your career path, and how you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole ton of people that are really informed, and there's a lot of vacuum information that's circulating around, that speak of everything, right? Like that speak of the economy, but also speak of, I guess, like the social cultural situation right now. Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like cool to make fun of whatever leader that your popular opinion doesn't like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of people, you think back to like Bill Clinton, right? And there's a lot of people that dog Bill Clinton, and he was financially the greatest president that we've ever seen. And he was like one of the only presidents that put America ahead financially. But there's a lot of people that just love to dog on him because
Can I
he's not
jump
their
in
guy.
on Calvin's question?
Yeah.
I want to ask, I guess, Calvin, how much do you think of it is misinformation or lack of information or education versus how much is it slanted and sensationalized by news media sources, right? Like everyone's looking for a hot story. Everyone keeps things that are not important inside the news cycle. When Donald Trump was running initially in 2015, the fact that it was so crazy that he was running became a news cycle thing where he kept getting way more promotion and airtime than the other candidates, which then if you're bombarded with so much of that information and it's always on the forefront, is it really information or is it now propaganda or is it now like brainwashing because it's now
On
a
you and all the
singular
time.
source. It's a singular source telling you what's important instead of us not actually knowing a world or global perspective of what's actually important or a national perspective in the case of America of what's actually most important.
Well, you learn what you want, right? Like there's no such thing as being bipartisan. Like you're going like even when it comes to us in sports, like we can read stats about every single basketball player and we're still going to have a partisan view on who we think is better than whoever else, even if we're able to kind of like read up on everything. There's no way that you can do it's in the chat here, like everyone lives in an echo chamber. Every podcast on the planet is an echo chamber of someone's own thoughts. Every every video is a full-on echo chamber of someone's thoughts. And so you can be completely informed on everything and still say, I'm still gonna rock with this person anyways. Like how many of us had friends who our parents were like, they do this, they do this, they do this, and you're like, yeah, but they're still my best friend, even though I know they're bad, but I think they're my friend, right? So I think in this regard, like much of this is connected to popularity more than it is to actual policy and actually looking at it from a I really appreciate the economy. What about the economy? Well, it's better. How is it better? Well, it's better than it was before. Like if you really ask somebody about it, they're not able to show you like the average person isn't going to have stats and figures in the back of their mind about how it was better than it was in 1996 under Bill Clinton, or how it got better after the recession of 2008 and 2009. Like most people aren't able to speak to that, or how it's gotten better even in the midst of COVID. Most people aren't able to give you actual figures or able to tell you what the news told them, because that's the news that they get, that's the news they subscribe to, and that's sort of the news that they present.
Yeah, facts. Well, I mean, that's just how the presidential debates have even gone, right? Just like that, like tic-tac. Well, I put them in the cages that you built. And you're like, that's not a legit argument, bro.
Tell us, Joe. Tell us, Joe. No, yeah. Joe, tell us.
Who built
why
those
didn't you
cages?
solve it? Who built the cages? Who built the cages? Tell us, Joe. Why won't you answer the question? Joe, why won't you answer the question?
And you're like, but you did. Did I though? Maybe you didn't. And yeah, like, so I think it's like everyone's kind of learning in the midst of their own echo chamber of information, and they can give two cares about, even if like, you think of it this way, like if we were voting on it based on personality, everything should say to you from a personality perspective, maybe Donald Trump should not be president from a personality perspective. And yet, there is a very strong chance that at the end of this night, and you said it, that people are going to come out from the woodworks and say, like, I didn't answer it on a poll because I didn't want to get myself in trouble. I didn't want to have it put on my name. But if you really pressed me, I voted for Trump. Like, and that even though, was it 530? What's the website? Nate Silver's website, whatever it is, 530. I can't remember the name. Even though they say that there's only a 10% chance that Trump can win, that 10% chance is very, very, very loud and actually can happen. Even though we would say personality-wise, probably not the best sort of person in terms of what we have esteemed from a president's perspective. And I would say this, Kareem, like the whole thing about the devil you know versus devil you don't know. I think every time you're voting for somebody, like every time you have an incumbent and somebody you're voting in, you're always voting in somebody that you don't know. Right? Like nobody knew Barack Obama outside of the 2004 Democratic convention where he gave his speech. Nobody knew who he was. And he's running on hope and change. Everyone's kind of like, who is this guy? And why do we like him more than Hillary? Like nobody knew Trump is the first candidate in our history where we knew everything about him before he even ran. Outside of that, nobody really knew anything about George Bush Jr. besides the fact that he owned the Texas Rangers. And he was discharged from the army. Like before that, nobody really knew anything about the governor of Arkansas in 1992. You know what I mean? Like nobody, you always kind of like, you're voting on promises. Trump is the first person to kind of be like, I'm going to drain the swamp and I'm going to drain it, but I'm also going to add in things from other swamps to make the new swamp. Like that sort of idea. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all chance, except for with Trump. With Trump, it literally is what you see is what you get. And also what you get is what you get.
Well, and you got to remember too that Trump, when he was first voted in, it was because he wasn't a politician.
Yeah.
Everybody was done with politics.
Yeah.
Done with how they acted, how they talked.
Which is the slickest move because Trump is a tremendous politician.
Of course he is. But they wanted something different. And that's why when you ask the question, why would some black people vote? I think because that gives some black males looking at him and saying, you know what, he's acted his own way. Maybe I can get up there one day and act my own way.
Also, 90s hip hop deified him, so they came up on wanting to be like Trump, right? The capitalist mind.
Yeah.
And now they want to be like Lil Pump. Gucci gang, 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 Gucci gang. Catch Bart on the TikTok for the plug. Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
We'll do your marketing for you.
I don't know who Gucci gang or what that means. I don't know.
Shout out to Stouffville St. Louis Wings, man. It's our sponsor, our unofficial sponsor. Ali, yeah. He got kids. He got kids, baby.
You guys are so stupid.
We got a question in the chat, and I think it's a good one to talk through. Brandon asks us, how do you see this election affecting A, Canadians, and specifically Black Canadians, and then B, the church, if any? So that's the question. How does this like? Here's the thing. Outside of Jason, who once again, shouts to our boy Jason, launched Forward Faith Church this weekend. Brah, brah, brah. Shouts to the homie. We are 9 guys from Canada watching this election. Like this has no bearing on our lives at all. Like this has not changed policy for us. This has not changed anything for us outside of what the world will be talking about around us. Yet here we are watching it. So how does this election? Are you ordering from Civil? Hi Jamie, is that Jamie you're talking to? Hi Jamie, what's up?
Jamie's sorry guys. Jamie, yes, I'm talking to Jamie.
This guy's a mess, bro.
Yo, give her back the iPad, bro.
It's
a wrap, yo.
So
that's a wrap.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly don't know how we're friends. I'm honest.
You and your wife?
Same.
No, your wife. You can't say that about your wife, bro.
You gotta talk that stuff out, man.
I'm live on the internet, bro.
That's uncomfortable. I don't want to be here listening to you talk about why
this cancel culture, bro.
And
you can't be
and
doing
he turned
that.
off his camera to say that. Come on, man.
That's a good look. That's cool, man.
Yo, Stefan, she has kids.
Yo, fam.
He has your kids.
So listen.
Tim.
Listen. So here's the
Yeah.
question: is how do you see this election affecting Canadians, specifically Black
Yeah,
Canadians? Let's
no.
have that first one first. So how do you see it affecting Canadians, guys?
Well, it affects us even like yes, it does not affect our policies or our practices on a day to day, but I know that my friend group is polarized. I know that my family has been polarized. Different ideas, different leanings, different affiliations. I think social media has just showed us how divisive another country's ideas and policies and politics have been. Like, I am dreading the comments tomorrow, or once this is all announced. Like, I'm looking forward to the steak we're getting, but all the other stuff of just like how divided and how like angry people are going to be based off of what's happening tonight. It affects us in a different kind of way. Socially, it affects us for sure.
So I'm not going to be as serious, but the way this affects us, it's not all of Canada, but some Canadians that are here, 9 of us that are here. It affects us that when Trump wins, we all get steak from our guy Stefan. So in that way, it directly affects us, the outcome when Trump wins, Stefan, that you'll be buying all of us, every last one of us steak.
I think when it's all said and done, what is actually going to change is the perceived reality. Right now, we have lots of riots in America, lots of protests in Canada supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think people believe that that is enough to create the type of change that they want to see, and that America is prepared to reject its racist heritage and move towards a place where they can actually be deem all these things to be right, and not have these things that are going to be like, oh, these things are considered bad, but we're going to not oppose people that are like white supremacists and all different. And I think there's going to be a rude awakening that when you see, wait, somebody can be so divisive, hateful, hurtful, such a bad person in so many ways, in terms of illegal activity and bribery and all these different shady business type of stuff, and still win. Then, oh, maybe our reality of who we think we are, the type of country we want to have, I think that's how it will actually change, and that narrative will affect the world, because that's a ginormous aspect of America, is that it's equal opportunity for everyone, land of the free, home of the brave. If you take if you take that away, and now it's like, actually, even though you can be somebody who supports very good people on both sides, white supremacist people, and even if you call people who disagree with you thugs and rapists and stupid and dumb and all these different types of words, is America still this Mount Rushmore of places to come gather? And does that really affect how we live our lives in Canada? I think it affects our perspective of what popular culture is. That's kind of what made America great to begin with. They popularized popular culture, and I think popular culture is going to start to take massive shifts if and when Donald Trump gets reelected.
Well, I think on the when we look at how it affects Canada, I don't know if this is mentioned because my Wi-Fi sucked for a minute. Is that the pipeline? Someone mentioned the pipeline. The pipeline's a big deal. If Biden wins, and he's going to effectively cancel the pipeline out west here in Canada, and that's something huge for us here economically. We need that pipeline to help out with the economy here in Canada. So that's immediate, something that's going to happen. If Trump wins or wins again, I don't think that bilateral relations are going to be any better than what they are. In fact, they'll probably get worse, especially if we end up in a federal election in the next couple of months and Trudeau and the Liberals return to power with a majority mandate. Then there will be the cooperation will be terrible between Canada and the United States. Right? History shows that whoever wins the United States election, that first phone call comes from Canada, comes from the Prime Minister, whoever is sitting. And so, how does that work if Trump wins again?
Maybe he'll donate to the We charity or something. Who knows?
Not true. I don't think.
Nah, fam. Fix your Wi-Fi, fam. You're done. You're done.
The markets are going to either go up or down depending on who wins. We've already seen today. Even looking at my stocks today, stocks were sort of going up today, and I was like, oh, okay, but it's election day, so who knows? Like, the markets are trying to forecast. So
what happens next? All right, so then here's the next question then is how does this election on either side affect the church? Now, I know personally I have made the very easy decision to no longer go on Facebook because it's a divisive, dark cesspool of sewage and grossness. There's other words I want to use, but we're on live, so I won't. But and a lot of it has come from my evangelical friends in terms of the emboldenedness to say certain things.
Hallelujah.
Likely wouldn't say.
Are we going here?
Any other time? Listen, we're here. It's late. Let's go for it. And so winning allows you to kind of.
I can't be.
Winning allows you to puff up your chest a little bit. Again. Okay, I don't know what happened there. So I'm gonna say winning allows you to pump up your chest a little bit more than if you lose. So Lakers fans after Game 6 were able to pump up their chest, especially to the Clippers fans. They were able to pump up their chest a lot more because they were like, we are the better team in LA. And so whoever wins this is able to puff up their chest a little bit more than anywhere else. So guys, I have to ask you, like, how do you see this affecting? I disagree with that premise. You could say whatever you want. I can say that Stefan's going to buy me a steak. That's freedom of speech. The idea of freedom of speech without consequences, that's where Facebook is a problem. Because if you say something on Facebook, somebody can then respond to it on Facebook if you put it publicly. If you put it in the DM, it's a whole different thing. So I disagree with the premise of that there's such a thing as freedom of speech, because you can say whatever you want on Facebook, outside of the fact of like a couple of like really small things within history. What you can't account for is somebody then being able to say, nope, I disagree with you. That somebody disagreeing with you is not the removal of freedom of speech. It is the result of freedom of speech. That's my little 2 cents for that. I love you, Andrew. You're fantastic. Remember when you used to be one of my junior high leaders? Fantastic. Gentlemen, back to you. How does this affect the church?
I would say it affects the church if he wins. It only further develops a false sense of security with those within the corners of the church that are basically eating at his table. They are enjoying the moment. If he loses, it's a moment where I would say the church, especially those that are the loudest components, have to learn how to be silent. It's that, or they will go down in a blaze of glory and take everyone else with them. It's one of those things that at times you are more often remembered for the vocal minority than you are for those that are silent and doing their work. You remember those that make the most noise, not those that are the best at their jobs.
Oh boy.
It's going to have an effect on the church. So what sort of things are they going to have?
Well, I think if Biden wins, the church has to learn to be the church again, and you're going to have to learn to live at peace with everybody. I think one of the biggest problems is that for some strange reason, the evangelical church, and I'm going to say in North America, for some reason has boiled everything in life down to 2 issues, and we can't move past 2 issues. In fact, watch this. We've made actually an idol out of 2 issues. That's it. Like that. Why is Donald Trump in power? Don't worry. You know the issues. Everybody watching knows the issues. If you know evangelical Christians, you know what the 2 issues are.
Abortion and gay rights? Ooh, which ones?
I'd say both of those. And I'd say a third one was how do we interact with Israel?
Oh, God.
Right?
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not going down.
I'm out of here.
No,
I'm
but
just saying,
it's no, but it's a
but
no.
those-
Like I will defend Stefan. He's not
Thank you.
saying either.
No,
or.
he's not wrong. He's not
That's
wrong.
what evangelical church. That's what those are three tenets that evangelicals kind of rally around. He's not saying anything wrong.
Right. And so that like whoever can give, whoever can do the things that Christians want in those three areas, we don't care who it is. And I say you say it talking about evangelical Christians, right? So that's why John Piper writes an article and people lash out. Tim Keller says something, people lash
Oh,
out.
that's a great article.
Right? Like Christians are out here attacking each other because of who you're so dumb. So like the church has to learn, like if Biden wins, the church is going to have to live at peace with everybody. Just because someone votes differently than you, they're not your enemy. Just because they see things differently, they're not your enemy. Tony Evans, people, we for some reason don't understand other people's experiences.
Yo, Stefan, don't you think that that's a problem to start off with, that we have to learn to do something that we're already supposed to be doing?
You're right. It is a problem, but like we've staked our claim on these things, right? The Republican Party is the
Not
Christian
me.
quote unquote party. Well, no.
No,
When
but
I say
Stefan,
This
we-
guy
I
just took
think-
that so personally.
I know. I think, Steph, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna throw it right back to you. I think what you said is so true. Is like, it's like that whole. If you flip that scripture, it's like, what profit a church to gain an issue but to lose their soul? I think
Right.
we've given up the issue for the soul, and then there's
Right.
nothing. There's no redemption because now we've put all of our eggs in these baskets, and now we're stranded in the ocean.
No, you're right. And so like how do we reach out to people as the church now? Right? When they look on TV, we see evangelical Christians, holding worship concerts with thousands of people in the midst of a global pandemic. Please tell me how that wins somebody. Right? Please tell me how that wins somebody to Jesus. Please tell me. And then we find out that there are a bunch of cases linked to that concert. Like,
It's because Jesus is higher than all of those things, right?
Yeah, Kanye said it.
Come on.
yeah, right.
There's
Just like-
healing in the blood, right? No matter what the stupidity you do, right?
Okay.
You
Okay.
Hababosi.
Hey, listen. I'm
O'Shea's tan is
gonna
going
bring
all
some
the way up.
maturity into the conversation now before it gets too good, because I can see Andrew's your done face developing on screen. I can see it happening right in front of me. Andrew,
I want to
Looks like
hear
the
Andrew
Giants
say
lost
something.
again.
Andrew, as the reason why people watch this show.
Yeah.
What do you think the effect on this election would be on the church, regardless of who wins or loses?
There could be a lot of effects. I think number one, you've already seen that it's brought division
Big time.
because people are either one side or the other. And so people are fighting too much about all of these issues instead of saying, okay, let's see each other for who we are and let's love each other for who we are. Whether somebody is right or wrong, whether somebody agrees with something or not. Because for me, I think every issue that we've talked about are very important issues. So, I think abortion is a very important issue. At the same time, I think poverty is a very important issue. At the same time, I think race is a very important issue. At the same time, I think, other things are very important issues. And so the fact is, we've split those issues and made it one side or the other. And that's the problem. Instead of saying, okay, how can we address all those issues as the body of Christ? How can we address all those issues all at the same time? Or maybe you focus on that issue, we'll focus on this issue, but we're all walking as the body of Christ.
Ooh, Andrew, you preaching, fam.
See, I see. I saw the sermon developing in the spirit. I saw it happening while I was on screen. I saw it and I was like, there's a word. Here's a word. And he just needs somebody to bring
There
it
was a
forth.
cloud the size of a man's hand above Andrew's left
No,
shoulder.
you know what? Let me say this for the viewing public. I saw the Lord.
Yeah. Who would you rather sing that song for, Andrew, at the inauguration?
At the inauguration. If you had to choose, Andrew, who would you sing that song for?
Jesus.
Oh,
Good
stop.
answer. Good answer.
Jesus is still king. doesn't matter who's the president.
He's still
Those posts have been the most annoying posts today, by the way. I'm just saying.
Who?
It's like just that idea, like, doesn't matter who's president, Jesus is king. It's like such an apathetic way of looking at
But it's
democracy and like living in the world that you live in.
Yeah,
But
but
it's true, Calvin.
It's a cop out, Stefan.
It is, but it's a statement of two realities.
Yeah, but how is that statement
no,
realistically
Andrew,
gonna help?
Andrew, expound on that, friend. Expound
Yeah.
on these two
But
realities.
Come on, teacher. Look at all
What
those
I mean by that
textbooks.
is we do got to do our part to try and help the process in the decisions by voting and doing our due course. But it's still true that Jesus is on the throne. It's still true that Jesus still rules. Is it not?
Of course, but how is that a correlation to who's leading a country?
Yeah, because there's all kinds of wickedness
No,
and crazy
but
stuff happening, and
I haven't-
Jesus is king. So
Sure, but I didn't.
who's more
I
powerful,
haven't been
Trump or
watching-
Jesus?
I haven't been watching
Hallelujah.
Instagram,
Hallelujah.
but I'm assuming
Kid-
Hallelujah.
Kids are in
Oh,
cages.
there's
Let him
people who
finish.
think
Let him
they're
finish.
both
Let
equal.
Andrew finish. Let Andrew finish. Let Andrew finish.
I haven't been watching Instagram or whatever you were saying those things were on. But I'm assuming,
TikTok. Bar
Okay,
will let you know.
So I'm. I don't watch TikTok. So, but I'm assuming what you're saying is people are saying that, it doesn't matter who's in charge, that God is still on throne, right? Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah,
like, who
essentially,
cares?
yeah.
Who cares what happens?
Oh, well,
That
you
is the
still want
idea.
to hear
It's
what
apathy.
happens, but at the end of the day, no matter if the person you win loses, or sorry, the person you chose loses or not, God is still on the throne.
So how do you like, what do you say to somebody who says, okay, so Jesus is king, he's on the throne, but these injustices are happening, and it's under the watch of this president? Who's more powerful, the person in charge, or the person who's in charge of the person in charge?
Well,
Like how do we reconcile that?
Once you do that, you get into the conversation of sovereignty, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right, and that becomes a whole different thing, right? Like, because then someone like, well, that means that God chose Hitler to be, and so the idea of sovereignty is a really interesting issue in light of people's choice and democracy, right? And I think, and if I was going to like add on to what Andrew said, I look at the picking of Saul to be the first king. God had a way that he wanted to rule the people of Israel, and they wanted a king.
Right.
And he's like, guys, listen, like, if you guys go this route, no, we want to be like everybody else. Everybody else has a king when they go to war. We have you. We want an actual figurehead. God's purpose of bringing Jesus through that line still happens. That doesn't not happen in the midst of that. He still has sovereignty, but he still allows the result of man's picking to still go about. So the whole thing about it's a yes and amen with a caveat, if that makes any sense, because it's very much like a thoughts and prayers sort of thing. I'm going through a really tough time. Hey, thoughts and prayers, man. That's what it feels like. So it's true. It's just kind of like, read the room. This is not the right time to say this.
No, and that's why I'm saying it's a statement of two realities, right? It's a statement, like, both are true.
Now, what about when, like, so in the Old Testament, right, when God picks Cyrus, who's not a Jewish leader, and he chooses him, he smiles upon him, he blesses him, he gives him tons of favor, and the children of Israel are subject to him still, right? And how do we think about that when we think of this idea that, like, okay, it's God's person, and that person, kind of going back to our church and state conversation, has to be somebody who aligns with the beliefs of the church? What about when a leader isn't that, and Scripture would show us times where that person's also blessed, favored, and empowered to lead?
I think, Cal, the thing that, and this is going to be such a cop-out answer, so I apologize.
Yeah, it is, so don't even say it, bro.
we have, like, if you read the Old Testament, you see that God is at work, and God does things in unusual ways, and God's bringing about a plan of redemption, right? And so just because the way God does it, we're going to look at it and question it. Who is it of man to know the heart and mind of God? Right? God's working on something greater than what you can see in this moment. So
So then,
so
okay.
that's my cop out answer to
Yeah,
sort of answer to what
boo.
Kyle just said. I'm sorry, but we have to take. I think we have to take that into consideration when we see what
So
God
then,
is doing.
here's the catch. Then, how does that, right? For us to become deep theologians here at 10:30 at night.
Yes.
Because there was some I
Well,
remember sitting in a church in Eastern Ontario, in the city in the city of Oshawa, Ontario. I'm not gonna say which church it was, but it rained high. Um,
Jesus is king.
in this church, somebody got up and prayed the pastoral prayer, and they said, God, you have chosen Donald Trump to be president. And I remember sitting there going like, did he though? Because a popular vote said that they didn't. So I don't know how this works. Did you choose him? Did we choose him? Did we choose him and you allowed him? So to that statement, Stefan, how would you respond to that?
you're frozen, Chris.
Is it Chris that's frozen or is it me?
That's me. It's me.
Okay. Well, wow. We have free will. God allows us to have free will. I think when in the time of the kings are being, oh frig, man, this answer is so much more complex than how I want to break it down. Um, man, it like I guess through some weird way, God allowed Donald Trump to be chosen, right? God could have intervened if he wanted to, but God's got a greater, like again, sorry, cop out. God's got a greater plan. And yes, Donald Trump plays a role in that. Well, we all play a role in God's greater plan. We just, again, don't know the heart and mind of God to be able to see exactly what God is doing and where God is working and what God is up to.
These things must come to pass.
That's, yeah,
Yeah.
Bart said it better.
The book of Bart.
It's there. I wrote it there myself, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay,
Come on,
right?
come on.
The margins?
Come on.
2 Bart verse 14.
Like,
It's a second Bart book. It's a second Bart book, not even the first one. It's a second
Bart
one.
14.
It's apocryphal.
Bartimaeus.
Hey. Open your third eye, Bart.
Take your chakras. Where's your crystals? Let's go. You're so moving forward out, like there's a lot of this that's not going to be decided tonight. And even with the numbers that are coming in, there's still so many mail-in votes that came in over the last 2.5 weeks. It'll be months, weeks. I don't want to say months, but weeks before we really know legitimately who is president. And then depending on who wins, if that also then gets placed into courts and things like that. How do you guys see? Do you think this changes actual voting and how people vote? Not in terms of like the actual like who I vote for, but the actual mechanics of voting. Do you how did COVID play into this?
in the United, oh, okay. I think it played a role. Just depends on it depends on the person, right? Like in Florida, where there's a lot of older people, I thought it would have played a bigger role because older people are more vulnerable to the virus, and Trump's walking around telling everybody you don't have to wear masks, right? Like, so I thought that in Florida we would have seen more older people voting Democratic, but based on the results I'm seeing here, Florida's gone to Trump, early projections anyway, or Trump is leading as the ballots are coming in. So I thought the virus was going to play a bigger role, especially in a state like Florida, where it's the place where old people go to retire. But it doesn't. I don't know future wise though. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't know future wise if this changes anything. I think we'll see a lot of people who normally vote Republican maybe vote Democrat this time because they hate Trump, just because of just for who he is and what he stands for. Like I wrote earlier on Facebook, it'll be interesting to see if George Bush says anything at all, because he's the only living Republican president outside of Trump. Trump left, and he hasn't said a word at all. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if Trump wins. Does George Bush say something? Does he sort of rally everybody in the party behind the president? I doubt he will, because George Bush. enjoys hanging out with the Obamas and taking candy from Michelle. So, like, I don't think.
Yo,
What the heck is wrong
Why you
with
gotta
you?
say? Why you gotta say it like that, bruv?
What you haven't seen the video?
Andrew's so embarrassed. Andrew's so embarrassed right now. I'm more
You
worried
haven't
about
seen-
Andrew's kind of like this is the time where Andrew's gonna go off and say like I'm gonna do my own solo podcast, guys. This is what's gonna happen. At the end of the show. It's either
The I See the Lord podcast?
It's Andrew, it's Andrew,
Yeah.
or it's Andrew or Adam. Those are our two John Lennons in our group. Who are gonna be like, you know what, guys, I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm doing my own thing.
I've been like, where is Adam? Adam ain't saying nothing
Right
in
here,
a long
man.
time.
I'm right
man.
here.
I was literally about to ask like, Adam.
Adam's our statistician. He's actually crunching the numbers for us.
He's crunching something.
He's high-key
doing
looking
it
for a
right now.
movie reference.
He's John King on CNN. He's John King on CNN going like, guys, if you look at these numbers here, if you look at this page here, blah 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 blah.
He's
Right?
watching
Adam-
Inception. Don't lie.
Adam's the one that fed me those numbers about Florida a minute ago.
If you look at my stats right here,
Yeah, see,
That's how you
Yo,
know
Adam.
you're West Indian.
Adam, do you have any links you could send us or the people in the chat?
Even some articles. Anything, bro. Anything, bro.
all right, let me see what I
This
can
guy's on Dazen right now watching football.
keep talking.
Yo, how do you say that word?
Hey,
Also,
Adam.
the
Zone.
D-A-Z-O.
Dazen.
Do you have any
Zone.
movie
Ah,
references
okay.
for us? Do you have any
No,
movie,
what, Andrew?
do you have any movie references for us?
No.
Something we can
Andrew hasn't
relate.
dropped anything yet.
Nothing
You-
right
Have
now.
we have we started the fire, Adam?
He hasn't
Yes.
Shout
dropped-
out. Rest in
Some people
peace,
just want
Sean
to watch the
Connery.
world burn.
Oh my
Are
god.
there any
Sean
questions
Connery.
in the chat? And from our YouTube friends who are watching us, are there any questions in the chat that you want to ask us? Doesn't necessarily need to be about the election. We're all here kind of watching it and kind of waiting. It's kind of a weird thing where like you wait. It's North Carolina, it's Florida, it's Ohio, it's Michigan, it's Wisconsin. It's pretty well the Midwest, it's Georgia, and those things they might not necessarily get figured out tonight. So as we're watching it, we're gonna go for a couple more minutes longer here. But is there anything that you have and you want to ask us specifically, individually, collectively as a group? Drop it in the chat as we kind of hang out here. I will say this though, as I'm waiting for that, it was really fun the other night to watch baseball together. Some of us,
Yeah.
we were on the chat and we watched game 6, right? Was it game 6?
Yep.
Game 6 of the World Series. It makes me wish that we had done that for more sporting events.
Legit.
Adam
Yo,
and Andrew,
someone
lot of
just
fun.
asked him Adam was in a bathroom.
He is
Oh, he was.
hilarious.
He said he was crunching something.
that's he calls
He
he
thought it
calls
was numbers.
Let me
Adam calls his
explain.
poops the numbers. Adam
Let
calls
me-
his poops the numbers.
Crunching
No
loaves.
lie, though.
Loaves, bro.
Whole bunch of numbers.
No lie. In a traditional West Indian home, that picture of that cat is in the bathroom.
No, you don't put cats. You don't put cats in your house,
You
bro.
don't put cats. Oh my gosh. No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's
I'm not. Just
from
to explain to
Haiti.
everybody, I'm not in a bathroom. This is
So, yeah, it makes me-
It's my podcast studio.
Yo, why'd you say it like that, bro?
Why you say it like that? Like why you try to seduce a camera, yo, fam?
Because Adam's on multiple podcasts in different places, so
Yeah,
he has to
yeah,
have a
True.
Big time.
Adam.
podcast studio.
Adam's out here like, yo, I got a podcast studio.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
everything we
you
do,
wanna
we
roll-
do it
You want to
big.
come through, man? Pull up.
Yo,
Yo,
drop the link.
I miss
fam.
Adam's
Drop the link.
lighting from season 1 though.
Yeah.
Yeah. The purple light. People were like,
Yeah.
Who's the guy with like the purple light? Adam. Oh, I love his lighting in his his.
It looks like a lizard cage. It was great.
Hot terranium. Oh my gosh. That's
How's
hilarious.
your iguana?
Who has an iguana? No, one has an iguana. What are you saying right now?
Yo, he
Yo,
was.
Yo,
the
guys,
man.
who's winning the
It's
Super
just-
Bowl? Mans are asking.
I'm not talking about football. I'm not
Yeah.
no fantasy
Oh,
football.
we should clarify.
no
We should clarify
football.
the reason
I ain't
why
talking about it.
Carmichael O'Shea McDonald's upset is because he is doing so bad in our football pool. We have
Terrible.
Hold on. I'm doing the same
Not
as
as bad as
Stefan, though.
Stefan. Not as bad as Stefan. Stefan is the worst. You're the worst commissioner since Gary Bettman, fam.
like
You're
boo,
James
every time you walk
Dolan.
out of your house,
You're
you
James
boot out
Dolan.
of your house.
Wow.
Wow.
Why you
You
gonna do
like
that
it
to me,
as
man?
James Dolan.
You own the
James
Knicks.
Dolan.
Why you gonna do that to me, man? I was out here minding my own business, yeah, and y'all gotta.
Your
clown me.
5
that's
second
not-
round draft.
Uh,
So
Uh,
okay. Shout outs to the Giants who almost won on Monday night.
Almost.
Jonesy is a
It's
Giants
over,
fan.
Andrew. It's over.
Almost went to what, 2-7?
Listen. I was angry when they won. I'm like, this is a lost.
Why?
Because this is a lost season. Why wouldn't you just lose to get the first pick? Like,
Because you're not the Jets. Because the Jets are getting the first pick.
You could get Trevor Lawrence. Why win? So now when they won the first game, I'm like, you might as well just start winning now. You might as well.
Wait a minute, Andrew. You guys got a quarterback in your first round pick at the last draft.
Stop it. He's garbage.
So why would you want?
I don't know if he's garbage.
Garbage.
What happened to Odell? Where's that guy now, man?
He's
Injured. He tore his ACL.
Stop it. Listen, Daniel Jones is Jameis Winston II.
Nah,
He
he's
throws
not.
interceptions all the time. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Okay. So answer the question: who's winning the Super Bowl?
Tampa Bay.
No.
No.
Pittsburgh.
You're picking
Pittsburgh or
Tampa?
Kansas City.
It's either Pittsburgh
Kansas City.
or Kansas City.
It's not Kansas City.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yo, you gonna
I
put
think-
another steak on it?
Hey, put some steak on that Bobby.
I'm not this early. Not this early. I think Tampa Bay is gonna win. I think
You were willing to put the fate of the free world into stake, so you're not willing to put it on the Super Bowl? Yo, you're crazy. Yo, you're a
Weird
wantless
guy,
fan.
bro.
Yo, that's a weird
Weird
energy. That's a weird energy. You're willing to put that on the
Guy's got weird morals,
free
man.
world, but we're not going to put it on the Super Bowl. Okay, Stefan, whatever, man.
But it's
You guys-
early in the flipping season, bro.
Bro.
What happens if Tom Brady gets hurt this Sunday?
So,
It's a wrap.
at what point would you be willing to do that?
Listen,
playoff.
guys.
We
Listen.
can't-
Kareem said a cup of steak.
Okay, Adam, drop it now.
All right. So from TJ Green in the chat, he says, "Are you familiar with the phrase
You're
politically?"
you're cutting off sports altogether right there. Boom, done.
Got it.
Adam's like LeBron.
Go. Yeah. I just read that.
Okay, go
Yeah,
for it.
anyway.
Go for it.
Great. No, because we asked for questions. So when
We
people
did,
ask
that's true.
questions, it's only polite, Calvin, that we
We were trying to get the answer to the question.
Oh, cool. Are you
Yeah,
familiar?
you
with
don't
the
even know who's
phrase-
in the NFL. It's like the Argos are gonna win, bro.
First of all, it's Manchester United. Okay, are you familiar with the phrase politically homeless? Just got this book by Aaron Schaefer, The Politically Homeless Christian, How to Conquer Political Idolatry and Reject Polarization. So I guess the question is, are you familiar with the phrase politically homeless?
Never heard of it, but I think I
I'm
get the
not-
idea of that.
Like
I-
undecided?
Just
No,
like
I think-
unable to pick a side.
I think okay, so this is me kind of leaning a little bit into, and my friend Will Dyer is watching too, but from an Anabaptist perspective, shouts to the Meeting House. Let's go. You're traditionally up to only recently, Anabaptists actually didn't vote in elections. They would have felt that it was leaning too far into what was happening in the world, and it was taking them away from the grand mission, which was being kingdom centric. And so for many Anabaptists, they would find themselves, and forgive me if I'm making this wrong, they would not necessarily find themselves politically homeless, but they wouldn't necessarily line themselves up with any sort of party. They would say, which of these decisions allows me to live for the kingdom more than any of the other ones? So they wouldn't necessarily say that as Anabaptists, we are Democrats, we are Republicans. They would say, we are Christians, we are Jesus focused, we believe in a third way. We don't believe in the two ways that have been placed in front of us. We believe in a third way, and that third way is Jesus. So however we're able to do that with alongside political things, we are going to, but the political thing is not going to own us or keep us. Instead, it's going to just kind of be a lever for us to kind of go into something else. So in some respects, Anabaptists would kind of find themselves to be politically homeless in that regard.
Interesting.
So we're gonna go for 5 more minutes, guys.
Yeah.
So in the personal chat, people are getting tired. It's
Yeah.
a late night, that sort of thing, and people are starting to tap out. But
Another question that's here from the chat is, what event led you to go into Christian leadership? Maybe we'll just field, because those could be really big stories. Maybe we'll just field 2 people to answer that.
My youth pastor
I knew you were
growing
gonna say
up,
that.
he preached a message this one time about Elijah, and like it was so impactful on my life. The lights and everything in the chapel were synced so beautifully. And that moment there, I was like, man, that feeling of just a great word. The worship was great. His wife led worship, and it was like off the chain. I'm still like, my wife and I will sit down today, and he's like, remember that time Rebecca led worship? It was just so good. And so that was one of the
And then
things
you
that
guys
sort
went
of
for lemon pepper wings.
we did go for. Yo, listen, there was a time we went. I think it was a Halloween night. We were at Wendy's till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Just stop.
I remember that,
Just
yeah.
stop.
Yeah. Yo, that
What
was
does that have to do
insane.
with lemon pepper wings?
Pardon? Because we
Somebody
often
else
get
with their
wings or
stories
food.
now. Step on Somebody else with their story. Somebody else with their story.
My
Who else
memories.
is there? What got you in?
I'll go. For me, it was so I didn't grow up in the church, so I'm one of those that came to the Lord, and as an adult, the Lord found me at the age of 20 in my aunt's living room, and then when I started following the Lord, one of the things I recognized, or I felt like the burden that He was placing on me, was this idea that well, first and foremost, that a lot of people from like the places that I grew up in or the spaces that I was in, that the church wasn't as they just weren't getting the gospel, and so I felt the Lord had kind of placed on me first the burden to be able to reach those type of people, and then from there it grew to just in general this idea of why I went into youth ministry, just mistakes that I made as a youth, and the regrets that I had as a youth. I wanted to help young people not make those same mistakes. So those are the main reasons why I went into church leadership.
Let's do one more. Come on.
I got arrested a few times, and it's the facts. I was a bad kid, and I had key people in my life that were kind of like there for me consistently, even though I kept slipping up and being arrested and being kicked out of school and expelled from school and all that type of stuff. So I kind of was like running from a very prominent, like I grew up in church, but I was very good at living that double life. And I had certain key people who kind of, I think, were key for a time. I don't think certain relationships are not meant forever, but I think for key moments in my life, the right people were there and they made a good enough imprint in me to see, even at a young age, when I was like 16 and 17, kicked out of school, I knew that I wanted to do something church related, but I also was smart enough, quote unquote, smart enough to know that I didn't want to go to seminary or Bible college. I knew that I would work in church in a different way. And it kind of all just worked out. I was kind of thinking of the type of work that I would do even before that work existed, specifically in Canada. So, anyways, that's me, yo.
Oh, thanks, man. So we got a few more questions from the chat. TJ Green says, I absolutely love Kanye. What's your thoughts on Kanye 2020?
Kanye got to take his medication, y'all.
Kanye needs to drop Donda. Just drop Donda, the album Donda. That's it. Just drop Donda.
I will say this again.
Oh God, here we go.
I think I've said this multiple times. The worst thing two of the worst things that happened to Kanye West is his mom passed away and he got married to Kim Kardashian.
Okay, that's
okay.
He married into the Kardashian family, and they were all about publicizing and Kanye needed to have his mom in his life to help sort of say, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea. And like, it's really sad what's happened to Kanye West over the last decade, 5 years, right? Like, just it's.
But could you imagine a single Kanye West going on the tirades that he does?
But I don't think that would have happened if his mom was still in his life. Like, we can't bring her back or anything like that. But
I'm more talking about your second point.
Oh,
if he wasn't married to the Kardashians, because you realize all those like Twitter rants and stuff like that happen when he's not there. When he's in Wyoming, shout outs to the ranch.
Awesome. Have you seen the Joe Rogan interview? I know most of you have said you haven't. It's a great interview. It brings a lot of context. I don't think he's as wild or off kilter as the rants make him seem, like on Twitter, right? But allowing him to articulate and then watching him try to pull the thoughts together. You're like, oh, all right, I see what you're trying to say.
He said something about
he's
expository preaching that was just like, Cal, was it you that sent that clip of him talking about expository preaching?
Yeah, I sent a real cool article. I think John Piper
Yeah,
said some of the same things, but
See what you did there.
Done.
Yo,
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but now we know now.
All right. Isaiah Harrison says, how did the House of Commons begin? Who pitched the idea of doing the show, and how was everyone selected? I can answer that in terms of...
You can. You should. You're the only one that can.
In terms of... so I know that Chris has said that, in earlier episodes that I'm the founder. That's not true. I pitched the idea of the podcast, but Chris Chase, we all have a relationship with Chris Chase through ministry. And so he put us all into a group chat.
Chase.
He put us all into a group chat, and we just started having really great
That's not even true.
That was
Stefan.
Stephon Watson.
Stephon
Watson.
It was Watson.
Shout out to the original name, POC Ninjas. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna throw the
There were a few people who had heard that there was a group chat full of black people, and they were black and not included. And so Stephon Watson made sure that as Nick Fury, just as he did, he brought all of us together. Put some respect on Stephon Watson's name. Stouffville, St. Louis wins.
We should do a podcast.
There's also a question there, Adam. I think you didn't see it. It was actually asking if you play basketball. And
did you read?
I think we need to answer that.
Did you read what the host of the House of Commons show put after? Because it's just facts. Anyway, next question.
Oh, you definitely won't.
Well, what?
Absolutely not. I put money on that.
Eat your food?
Oh, I absolutely not.
So he's gonna eat that steak.
Whoa.
Listen,
What was the question?
Absolutely.
What was the question?
Listen.
What was the question?
O'Shea,
Play basketball.
you weigh
I
as
will
much
rent
as
a
like...
gym. I will rent a gym.
O'Shea,
I can get you space here at CLC. You guys can
Okay,
play.
so here's the thing. Are we putting stakes?
I'm not about to talk. I'm about the action.
We're done.
O'Shea,
We're done.
No, before we move on, how many stakes would you put on it that you would beat Adam one-on-one in basketball? How many stakes?
Bro, I put on
many stakes?
5.
5 stakes. Okay.
That
Don't
is
come
how
here with no flank
confident I
steaks,
am.
eh? Don't come here with no flank steaks either.
No.
I'm talking ribeyes.
Triple A.
No, don't bring no
No cap. Because I'm attacking that bad knee, eh? I'm going right for it.
Adam,
You're a bad
I can't wait
person.
for this. I can't wait for this.
You know we gotta
Alright,
set
listen.
this up now. We have to. Set
Yo, ask Rima. I got that strap, eh?
Whoa.
Oh,
That's where you
That
step on.
strap.
easy, North Toronto.
I let that
Relax.
thing fly.
Okay,
Alright.
Brampton.
Last
All right,
question.
we're gonna move on. Out of
Yeah,
respect
come on.
for
Are you
And so
hosting
that-
this thing?
Ad-
Let it be
Adam
known
is
now.
the co-host.
Adam is the official host and leader, de facto spokesperson for the House of Commons. Continue. sir.
No. I'm the
He
chat
gave
host.
birth
no,
to this.
I'm the official. I'm the official chat host. You're still the man, Chris. I'm
So
the chat
we got
host.
co-hosts.
Say who has the longer dreads right now.
All right, here we go.
The field.
All right, listen. Any of you guys done seminary? Any advice on what to expect?
No, but I know Van Johnson.
I haven't.
You're gonna have
I'm
fun.
in first. I'm still in first.
That was
year.
that was gonna be my answer as well. I have not, but I know Van Johnson.
You'll have
Like,
fun, fam.
3rd month.
This is not a good look, guys. None of us finished.
Why
I
is
did.
that not a good look?
Oh,
Well, depends.
Disciples were just mere fish.
Like
You're talking about
meals,
Bible? Well, we all
Bible college or
Bible
seminary?
college or a seminary?
Like
Seminary.
bachelors or MTS.
well,
It's a
the
big difference.
question is seminary. So I'm not
Seminary.
I'm not seminary.
I don't
No,
know.
I-
You got money like
Keller-
that.
My
Catch you
bachelor,
at
I have
the
my bachelor's in
cemetery, though.
theology. I don't have my master's yet.
Yeah, I have my bachelor's
Uh,
in too.
Cal and I are in the same class still.
I'm a bachelor in theology.
Bachelor. But wait,
Wow.
but wait.
Can you expound on
Man,
that?
she say he don't want to talk about that. All right then.
Yo, can
Calvin,
you expound on
figure
that?
yourself out.
Exegete that, yo, exegete
Hey,
on that,
hey,
fam.
Extra Jesus. Extra Jesus.
You want to talk about
Cal-
that, Calvin?
Cal,
Wanna
you
talk
just put
about
yourself
that?
out there.
And
All right,
I'm
we
gonna
got more
pitch-
questions.
I'm gonna pitch the last one. I don't know if it's a real one or whatnot, but they're asking about us entertaining more live shows versus pre-recorded. What do you guys think?
This ain't
No, I
free.
think Wow.
Free.
Wow, you want a
Patreon.
Patreon?
Yo.
Patreon thing.
Listen,
Mans are calling you for to get cut.
let me
I
tell
think
Unsullied by
hold on.
sponsorship.
I think it's a good idea. I think that it has to be things around something. There has to be a rallying sort of moment to get us to, like, this is a special, ridiculously debacled moment for us to get together like this.
And we need Tim. We need Tim to kind of make it all work, yo.
And we need Jason. Jason just like
Yeah, where's
Tim's
Jay?
talking to it.
He didn't even say he
Yo.
wasn't coming.
Tim forever be like this, eh?
Who Jason?
No,
Tim.
Tim's always talking to his ting.
Yeah.
Yo, don't put the man's business out
Yo,
there.
did you see him stutter,
Oh, you
buddy?
guys
He
are-
had to
you guys are
second
so
guess if
whack,
you were
man.
gonna say it,
I was.
but he went for it anyways.
I said, I'm going.
Yo,
with it.
mans are saying they'll rock the Patreon thing, so let's ramp.
All right, then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that for sure.
We'll have to talk to Tim though.
Fox News is saying Biden only
And
needs...
we want to do merch one day. One day, I believe that merch will happen. Because I think that it's something that we need to be able to.
Yeah.
to
And the first
further
drop,
brand.
the first drop is going to be Adam plays basketball.
Hey man,
But not well.
That's
Hey.
a double entendre.
It's
gotta
me
put it on a
Because he
Puma
might get his
shirt, though.
ankles broke and he might drop from there.
no.
No,
It's
his
gonna
knee,
be
his bad knee.
Listen, it's gonna be me eating out of a bowl, and the bowl's gonna say O'Shea's food.
Yo, it's not happening, bro.
Just
It's not happening.
ribeyes for breakfast, baby.
Yo, we
Got
gotta
the
set
marble
that
in.
up, and I'm
Not
refing that
happening.
game. I'm refing that game.
Okay,
All
yo,
right, guys.
what's the election? What's
I
the
don't
status
get
right now?
calls
'Cause
from
I'm not
you
watching.
anyway.
Right now, the
Anyways.
stats are 192 to 105 for Biden, but Arizona, Wyoming, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are too close to call, and they'll likely end up coming down to those ones.
right
So
now.
those are the four states that right now are the ones that everyone's kind of watching.
Yeah.
Arizona's so far with
95 though.
Pardon?
The House is 124 to 95 for the Republicans.
Fox
now.
News is hilarious.
And then-
XVP visits son's gravesite, has slip up with granddaughters. That's the headline, bro. Yo, Fox News is dirty.
Why?
That's hilarious.
that's brutal, bro.
How you even do that to a man like that? That's disrespectful.
To
Where's
you,
that?
How's
Where
that
do you see that?
news?
What are you?
That's on Fox News.
What?
XVP visits son's gravesite, has slip up
Yeah.
with granddaughters. Like,
That's clickbait on a news site. That's why we can't trust these news outlets.
like
You gotta tune
who
into the House of
cares?
Comment.
Like, why does that even matter? But someone's gonna be like, I'm sharing this on. I'm
Yeah.
sharing
Yo,
some
that's all
grandmother's
over
gonna put this on
Facebook.
their,
Yeah.
on their Facebook page, like immediately. Look what he did with his. Look what happened at his gravesite. Like that's.
What a creep. Sleepy Joe's
Can I
a
ask?
creep.
Can I just
what
ask?
kind of
Wow,
what kind of
forget it.
slip
Never
up do you
mind.
have with the granddaughters?
But they leave it like that, and then you realize like he called them by the wrong name. But you have to click on the link to be able to see that. Like that's what they do.
So they can sell it. So they can sell that tracking, fam. So all you get is Fox News spam all the time, everywhere you go, on every website. They need you to click, fam. That's what it's about. It's getting them
That's how
clicks,
you
guys.
get.
Getting them
That's
clicks.
how you get your 1, 2, 3 thoughts of the day every day.
Yo, Stefani just got a shout out.
Yeah, man. He
I
says
got
you're
a
the
shout
goat.
Big ups to
says-
Matt Bacola.
Oh,
says you're
Big
the goat
Cola's
of-
in the building. Let's
the
go.
goat of
You're
Stouffville.
the goat of
Alright.
Stouffville. You're.
Big shout out to
Competition,
Matt,
man.
the general.
All right.
Matt,
It is 11:04.
can we do a recap of what's happening real quickly in the States and just see who's on the
We
path to
just
the White
did
House?
that. We
No,
just
No,
did
I
that.
want to do it
Literally.
again.
Oh,
Okay,
Do
go
it
with
one
Mustafa.
more
Like,
time.
refresh the
I'm
page?
not
I will do
doing
this
it.
one more time. So
Yeah,
as it
refresh the
stands
page.
right now, it is right now in terms of, remember, there is a electoral college vote and then there is the popular vote. In terms
Right.
of the electoral college, you need 270 to officially win. Right now, as it stands, Trump has 108 and
48. 48. It just bumped up. 48.
48.
148.
148.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Right.
140, 192 to 148. So my thing hasn't refreshed here. So I do
Oh.
apologize for that.
It's 127 to 148.
207 to 148.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you guys seeing that? Are you guys seeing that on Fox? You guys seeing that on
Fox
oh, yeah, I
News.
see on Fox
No, no,
News.
By the
Fox.
way,
On
Biden
Fox.
slipped up with his granddaughters.
Yo,
So it's
YouTube's
207
never
to
letting this back
148.
on.
207. People have done way worse on live. I'm not too worried about it.
Well, we're not telling anybody to go get strapped yet.
You just
Stop it.
You're
Yes,
telling
you just said
people to
yes.
Go and get strapped.
protect your granddaughters. Right now,
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your granddaughters.
I have kids.
All right, kids. Shout out to our boy Ali
Shout out
at Stoneville.
Ali at Stoneville, St. Louis Wings.
St. Louis
Oh
Wings.
my-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watson out here
Get the
steadily
peppers.
getting that dry rub.
You got
Listen,
the reckless.
remember.
Pause.
Continue to care. Facts. So it's 207 to 148 for Donald Trump. I mean, sorry, for Joe Biden. The magic number from the Electoral College is 270.
Oh, man.
And right now it's coming down. It'll likely end up coming down to 4 states: Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Pretty well the Midwest is in play. And it will be tight because there is a lot of mail-in votes that have to be counted long after the election. Here's what we know. We know that one candidate has said that depending on how close it is, they may actually declare themselves to be the winner at the end of the night, regardless if it's really tight. And the other has said that they're not going to do that. There is likely going to be a long night, even a couple of days before we're actually officially aware of who got the 270, and then there's going to be the large, arduous practice of going to the courts to argue over every single vote to ensure that it has been fair across the board. But as it stands right now, it's 207, 148 for Joe Biden. We are still waiting on the House and the Senate. The Republicans have controlled the Senate for the last 6 years. The Democrats have controlled the House for the last 2, and they're hoping for that switch over to happen. That's what the Democrats are, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's sort of the recap. Anything else that I missed, Stefan?
One
go
thing
ahead,
I
Tim.
can tell
Or
you-
Tim?
It's like, hey guys, I'm back. Donald Trump is
Yep.
actually leading the way in popular vote,
Yep.
and it's like the Toronto Star is reporting from the Associated Press that Donald Trump has 50.74% of the popular vote in comparison to Joe Biden's 47.66. So the question is, if the Republicans hold the Senate and Trump loses, do they finally start to change up the electoral system for the president to allow the popular vote to have more sway?
No, you can't do that. You can't just change rules because you lose. That's the dumbest
Well,
thing.
You
ever.
can.
Well, I mean, technically that's what the Republicans have been trying to do for the last 7 weeks.
It's like it's not fair.
I think that would hurt them if they
You
do
can't
that.
win you win a popular vote with 25% of the people. Doesn't count.
Yeah,
I mean-
there's still a lot more numbers to get counted there. So like right now, but I think that it would be wise for them to change the electoral college. I think it'd be because of the demographics that are changing all the time, it's gonna be harder for Republicans because they are naturally not the popular ones, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So the electoral college actually works in favor of Republicans as opposed to Democrats. So it'd be really hard pressed to see.
I think it mutually benefits. There's a New York Times. I think Bart shared it with us a couple weeks ago. That podcast talking about the Electoral College, and it actually works out to benefit both parties. It's just, when one party loses, that's when they want to change it. But then the next election, it helps them out, right?
Exactly.
So it'll never change. It's a kind of a messed up system. However, America.
And I think that's a great way
America.
for us to end. To quote the great Lin-Manuel Miranda as Alexander Hamilton and Leslie Jr. as Aaron Burr, I will see you on the other side of the war. It has been great to be able to be live with you on YouTube. Make sure to go to our actual YouTube channel.
Yo, subscribe to me too, fam. What's up?
I was gonna get
What's
there,
that?
Bart. Relax.
St. Louis
Don't get ahead
Wings
of
in
yourself.
Stouffville, or
You're stupid.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We thank you so much. It was a rough sort of getting set up here, but we are so thankful that you were willing to kind of move alongside it with us, and we are so thankful that you have been willing to be a part of who we are from the jump. We started this show in the late spring, and we have just and you've journeyed alongside with us the entire time, and we're so grateful that you've done that. Please continue to be fans of the brand. I'm getting names here from our chat hosts. Stacy, my sister-in-law. What up, Stacy? You're gang. You already know what it is. Aubrey, my guy out here out in Ajax. Let's go. You already know what it is. Roman Jackson, I don't know who you are, but yo, I'm gonna give you a shout out still. You already know what it is. Shouts to you guys for being subscribers to our channel. Please share this stuff with your friends. Let people know the good work that we are doing. We recognize, like I said earlier, every podcast is somehow an echo chamber because you're talking among yourselves. But we want to constantly break and bust out of that echo chamber, pause, and make sure that we are constantly and continually
Why you had to make it so weird, man?
It
just happened.
If I didn't stop, it would have been fine.
O'Shea would have said it if
I
you
was
did
doing so good.
No, honestly,
Yeah,
if you didn't say it, I would have been fine, bro. It's just
It's just
threw it in
you just
there.
couldn't hold it for long enough, man. You just
Oh,
let
boy.
it out, man.
Okay,
Oh,
like I was
Stop
saying,
it. Stop it.
we're so glad that you're willing to rock with
Oh
us. Make
my
sure to
gosh.
subscribe to our YouTube channel, House of Common Show. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram, House of Common Show, on Twitter at the House of Com 1. And make sure to also give a follow to Bart Aniston.
Yeah.
Does some amazing creative work. Listen, if you are you run a church and you're like, we need somebody to do video, we need somebody to do social media, we need somebody to do website for us, and you're like, I need somebody to come and link us up. Bart Aniston is that dude. Subscribe to him, message him, he'll hook you up. He's legit. Like he puts in that work.
Yeah, man.
Gentlemen,
What's your podcast again? What's that, Bart?
More life.
More life.
more life. We'll do a quick round circle here. Andrew, any last words?
Good night.
I go to sleep. O'Shea,
I mean, regardless of the outcome of tonight, Kyrie Irving is still a bum, and Adam, you can catch the work anytime.
Calvin, last words.
Matt Damon.
What does that? What does that have to do with anything? All right, Adam, last words.
This is my last season on the House of Common.
Saying
I told
that
you.
now, but he's like,
I told
oh,
you. He found a Yoko Ono and he's ditching us. Whatever, man. Whatever. Dash out. Reem, last words.
I can't wait to have my steak from Steph, and I'm gonna have my Pierre Jacks on the side. Definitely won't be having a ting with it.
Yo, Pear Jacks is nasty.
Nah,
Yo, ting for life.
Pierre Jacks for life.
Team Ting for life.
Pear
Bart,
Jacks for
Bart,
life.
any last words?
Raise a glass to freedom.
Hey, let's go. Timothy, now that you're back with us for the last 5 minutes of the show,
How's Lorraine?
last words.
Oh, no.
He's throwing out gubbies.
Why you gotta put her name out there on them roads, guy? Yo,
Man missed half the show, yo. You're not married.
Oh my
you don't have
goodness.
privileges like
So,
this.
what I will say
I did.
this always happens to me, everyone. This always happens. I'm about to say something, and man's all come in. No respect.
Hey.
Yeah.
But
I said nothing, eh?
It's gonna be a long night, and next couple of weeks. So let's buckle up and be prepared for the ride.
What? And we close off. It's only fitting that we close off with Mr. Hot Take, Mr. Get the Strap himself, Stephon Watson. That last word. What you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, follow me on Instagram at the Stephon Watson.
Okay, all right.
Are you sure it's
You
not
can,
SDub23 or the other 5 Instagrams that you seem to be
Yo,
having?
mute this guy.
Or
Never know how to add.
Or Stovall Wings is bomb.
Yes. Stovall Wings. too
You can
dry.
follow me. You can follow me on both.
Jamie took my iPad.
Man's wings are too dusty.
Also,
Never order
rest in
from
peace to
St.
Sean
Louis
Connery.
Wings this week.
Rest in peace to Sean Connery.
Yeah,
We,
yeah.
we
He
appreciate
beats
all your
women.
work.
He beats women.
What's happening?
Wow.
Facts. Y'all don't remember that episode?
Oh,
Chris,
he said,
Chris,
yo,
shut it
That
down,
interview?
Shut
He
it
said
down,
he
bro.
just slap
he
a
said
woman.
that himself.
He said it.
Shut
Said
If
it.
you don't listen,
Daniel Craig is the best
open,
Bond of all
listen.
time.
And this
Yo,
is why
somebody
we
end
might,
this show.
and this is why we might never ever go live ever again.
Yo, he did, man.
None of this
That's
stuff.
true.
As you watch Andrew slowly
Andrew's
slide
like,
out
I'm
of
off this.
frame, I would do the same, but my chair doesn't have wheels on it. With that
Yo,
being said,
shout out to Ethan Jones, by the way, who was on the chat
we
and he
shout-
says all day, every day, he hears, "I see the Lord in his head."
Oh, he
It's
doesn't.
stuck
He's
with him.
lying. Go to
He
bed.
wrote it in the comments.
He's
it means
lying.
it's official.
Go to bed.
thank you so much for watching this election show special with us. We hope that it has been informative, irreverent, fun, religious, happy, sad, a great elixir for the pain that has been 2020. We are so glad that you watched with us. Maybe let's do this again 4 years from now if the world is not burning by then.
Yes.
Later, everybody.
Facts.
Have a good night.
One.